Good morning, good day, good evening, whatever. When you are watching this video, it might be for you. I'm welcoming you to my new channel, Granny Gro Ann, and I hope that you will subscribe to my new channel. The noble art of growing old is what I'm calling it, and because that will be the part of my life from now on. Today is a special day for me, and the reason is that I'm starting this blog today. I'm welcoming you into my home, my kitchen at the moment, the green room. I've been an actress for about a decade. I started off at drama school in London in '76. And when I came back to Norway, where I live now, I have been working as an actor, a producer, a director ever since. And I've been working quite hard. I also, for the last 20 years, have been a teacher at a folkehøyskole, which is a special thing that that I will tell you about later on. But today is the day that I'm telling my employer that I'm actually leaving. I'm going to be a pensionist. I was going to do that last year, but I was so frightened of the day that I asked him, please, can I stay on for another year? I know when I tell my friends about this, they say, what are you worried about? I say, I'm so afraid that I will be sitting doing nothing. And they say, don't worry, there's so much to do. When you're a pensionist, you can look after your grandchildren, you can sit in the sun, But my grandchildren, they are very capable. They are doing sports 3 times or twice a week. They go to school, they go to study music, they have a life. I know, I'm very, very happy with my grandchildren. I adore them and I long to be with them. But I can't bring my life to my grandchildren. I could not bring my life to my children. I had so much to do. I was in the midst of everything. So now, going into being a pensionist, a pensioner, I'm afraid. And I thought, if I start this blog today, taking you along with me, it might not be so frightening. Shall I get up in the morning? Shall I be able to eat properly? Shall I have friends at all? Shall I meet anybody? Or shall I just be going around in my own house and going crazy? Because that's what I'm worried about. The other thing is that having been on stage for 40 or plus years, being a director, being in the midst of things, performing, doing something, I find it very difficult to do nothing. I want to work. I love working. And besides, who am I if I'm not working? Who is this person? I don't know. My students at the moment, they are 18, 19 years, and they say, I don't know what to do with my life. And I think, you don't know, but I'm actually thinking just the same. But it's improper for an old lady to say that. What should become of me? But I think that maybe I'm not the only one that are thinking these questions. And that's why I have been deciding for about a year or so about, shall I start a blog when I grow old and start as a pensionist? or shall I not? Being in Norway, I also thought that I should do the blogging in Norwegian. But the other day I thought, why do I do that? Because thoughts, ideas, worries, love, happiness, sorrow, it's all universal. So if I stay in Norway, or if I stay in England, or America, or New Zealand, or wherever, I still have the same. We, as people, have the same worries all over the world. And at the moment, of course, we have this pandemic. The other thing, which is good about starting the blog in English, is that I can practice my English. I went to drama school. I used to be very good in English. But I haven't been into England for many years now. I go visiting, I go shopping in London and things like that, but I don't stay as I used to. And during the years, my English has become so bad that if I meet somebody on the street asking me where that and that is, I get frightened of talking because I think I can't remember the words. I do remember the sound of British, but I can't remember the words. What is it called again? And I have to go to the Google Translate and find out, that's what it is. Yes. Another thing is why I started off this blogging in my kitchen is that this morning I've been baking bread, and it might go beep, 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 and that's when the breads are ready. But the other thing is that when you start as a founder in Norway, we call it a kitchen founder, because very many of the women that start founding something, they always start at the kitchen. That's because they start making marmalade, or they start doing baking bread or whatever, and it all starts at the kitchen. The kitchen is, of course, the nerve of your society, your little society, your home. When the children come home from school, they don't go into the lounge, they go into the kitchen, because that's where the warmth is, and that's where the happiness is, and where the food is, of course. And having a green kitchen, of course, it's my green room. It's where I like sitting thinking. It's like that's where I like preparing. When I have a performance, I sit in the kitchen memorizing the words that I'm sure that I will be doing the right things, and I won't forget my words. I always sit in the morning in the kitchen. So that's also one of the things that I do. So now I've turned the camera around because my bread is finished, and now you can see here we have the bread. I find it very nice, and I love baking actually. Bread. I don't like baking cakes or something like that, but I like baking bread because I find that my own bread is so much more nourishing and gives me strength to keep the day going. And that is very important, of course. So I didn't have breakfast this morning because I didn't have any bread. So I thought, well, come on, you have to bake your bread, girl. So now it's almost lunchtime, and I'm going to have a little bite at long last because I'm very hungry. As I said, I've had a full life. I've experienced lots of love and happiness. I have 2 children. I have 2 grandchildren. I have a dog. But I've also had sorrow in my life, as we all have. Being a human, it's natural to have sorrow. I lost my husband, which was a great loss. And of course I lost both my parents. my mother 10 years ago, and my father 20 years ago, or 30 years ago actually. He died in 1990, and my mother died in 2010. So, time flies. But I often think about them. My father, I always think when I'm going for a wonderful walk in the nature, because my father was so fond of nature, and if I was a bit stressed and I went with my face down, looking just at the path I was walking, he always said, "Gro Ann, watch the nature, look, you see the bird there?" And if I go like that and I'm a bit stressed for something, I can hear my father say, "Look up." And once I did that. I heard my father say, "Gro Ann, look up." And I looked up. And there was an owl. And I've never seen an owl before. And I've never seen an owl after that. And I will never forget that moment. And that was one of the great, great moments in my life. Look up, Gro Ann. And there was this owl standing, or sitting in a tree, just as I passed it. Well, I hope you will subscribe, as I've said before, and I hope indeed that you will come back and watch next Monday, because next Monday is the 8th of March, and that is a very special day for me, and that I can tell you about next time. So, goodbye for now. I'm going to have some bread.